All right, today we are going to create a fillable form with calculations to total up the amount. Now, I'm going to make this a very simple form where we are just going to enter a description of the item. We'll put in the account number, and then we're going to enter in an amount. So here is a table, and in the table we have bits of information that we need here, but this is a reimbursement request. So we have a vendor number payable to, so forth, just real simple stuff. But here's where the things start getting interesting. So you could just send this form or put this form out there for folks to fill it in, and they would come in and they say, okay, mileage, or no, let's do lunch with client. Okay, tab over here. I might not know what the account number is, but let's just call it 100-204, and the amount was $24.25. Okay. So you can go and fill this all in, but then at the end, let's face it, it's a pain to go back and add everything up. And I'm creating this because I had to submit one of these, and I took the form that was already created on our network, and I was putting stuff in and everything, and I noticed that they had fields. I deleted the fields. We're going to create those in a second, and you'll see how this is done. They had spots, to put everything, but at the total due, I had to go back and add everything up. Now, if you have a whole bunch of line items, I had like 4 or 5, maybe 6 items in here. I had to go back and add it all up, and, the total was over $6,000 and so forth. But I figure, why can't this form do it automatically? So I went to YouTube, just like you did, and looked for Microsoft Word formulas, field formulas, or sum formula, SUM. And most of the videos that I found just showed you how to use the sum field up here, layout over here, to create a formula. The problem with this is I could, for example, if I go here, $50, $60, so forth. Then I come down here and I want to put the formula in. I can come up here and I could go to formula, and it says equals sum above. And if I push the OK button, great, there's my total. The challenge is, I made a mistake. That's supposed to be $34. So I come up here and I change the amount to $34.75, and I tab out of it, and well, what do you know? Mr. 134.25 still shows up. If I'm not aware of that, and I go and make a change, but I'm not aware that the total has not updated, I submit it, there's a possibility I'm going to get shorted, unless they, on their end, are going to go through and total up each individual item. So we are going to create a form that works for us. So let's see here. Let me get rid of that if I can. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of this. Now, also, you don't want people editing your form. So in the end, when we're all done with setting everything up, we're going to protect the form for, I believe it's for form fillable form or whatever. This way, the person filling out the form only has access to the fields and not the title of the form or any other thing that is outside of them putting their stuff in. So let's get started. With that in mind, that we're going to provide fields for them to put their data in, we need to look at the form and say, okay, well, where am I going to require them, or where am I going to allow them to put information in? Well, we're going to need it for the vendor number, payable to for all three of these lines, the attention, also the charge to, and of course for each of these lines, here as well under the account, and as well the amount column, and the total due, plus these fields down here. So we're going to do this through the developer option on the menu. If you don't have developer up here, then you need to go over to File, Options, Customize the ribbon, and choose developer. Look for a video on YouTube on how to do that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to get into creating the form and using the developer option menu item. So first, let's start from top to bottom, and we are simply providing fields for each of the bits of information that we allow the person to fill in. If you're on the developer tab, click in your form on the very first line. This is where we want to start, vendor number. Okay, now vendor number could be any combination of numbers, letters, or whatever. So most of these fields are going to be plain text fields. Okay, you can format a field to be a text field, a date field. As a matter of fact, down here on the bottom of the form, we do have a line for them to put the date in. So when we get to the date, we can format it as a date, as well as the date due. Anything amount-wise, we're going to make them currency, but we'll show you how to do that. First, we're going to just put the fields in. Then we're going to go back, and we're going to format the field. So let's start up here with vendor number. And we're going to insert a text field. Now, I have been seeing different things, and one that worked for me 100% is under this option right here. This is the legacy tools. So I believe if you go here, click on the down arrow, you can see different types of fields that you can enter in. It's this very first option here that we want, the text form field. So we'll just click on it, and then there you go. There is the first field. Next, we're going to take this field, highlight it, we're going to copy it, so Control C, and then we're just going to paste that field into all of the other areas that will accept data entry. So let's go to the payable to, we'll drop that in. We need one here, 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 as well as here. Then under the description, we need one field per cell. By the way, this is a table, so just, you know, anyway, so here we go. Put it there, 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 all the way down, right? There may be an easier way of doing it, but I'm going to do it this way. Amount or account number, same thing. Let's just go like this. Here we go. Could probably tab and do it. Would be a lot easier. Almost done. Hey. So we're just providing fields, actual fields, because we're going to restrict the form for fillable form. That way, when you get the form to fill out, you don't have to worry about messing anything up. You just click in the field, put your date in, and you're done. Total due. Yep, we need one there. Requested by, approved by, date, and due date. So, you could send this form out or set it up, and you're ready to go. So let's try it out. So if we go to up here on your developer tab, you have an option here, restrict editing. So click on that little guy, and then over on here you want option number 2 selected, and then you want filling in forms. Okay, then start enforcing protection. So click on that guy. Don't put a password in. If you want to put a password, for now we're not going to put one in because we're just testing it. So this is cool because Once restrict editing is enabled, if I go up here and I try to change reimbursement requests, it doesn't let me do that. But it does let me click on all these fields. So let's just say we're going to test this out. Description is, let's say laptop. Put that in there. Account number 100. And the amount of that was $2,500. Okay. Let's say monitor. Okay. 100. And the amount of that was, I don't know, $250. And of course, Microsoft Office. I don't know, 100. And I think, I don't know, I think it comes out to $268.11 at one of the, stores that are around here. And that's it, right? One thing we're missing is this little guy, it doesn't total, right? So no matter what, it does not total. You'd have to add that up and type the number. Not a big deal. You want to use a calculator, go ahead and do it. But wouldn't it be cool if this thing did it automatically, right? And also down here, let's say the date I put in, let's say I put in January. No, let's put April. And not knowing my months, I put 31. April 31. People don't do that. Let's do this. 04/31 is... Now I'm confused. Now I got to find out. Hold on. Okay, good. Yeah. /2022. Okay. Now, obviously, that's a wrong date. But once you leave it, the thing's not going to tell you or bleep at you or tell you, hey, it's not a correct date. So these are kinds of things that you want to think about. How can I make my form smart, right? I'll get rid of that. Okay, so, and then plus up here, you've got to total everything and put your total down here, whatever the amount is. So we are going to automate this. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to get rid of the values that I've entered in and just get them out of there. Okay, I'm going to stop protection so I can edit my form. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at each of these fields that need to be special. First of all, I want the amount to be currency. When you double click on one of the fields, like here, the first amount, and I double click on it, this window pops up. And you can see some different options. We're only going to mess with a couple of them. But there are some very key options on here that you need to be aware of. First one is the type of field this is. It's not a regular text. It's going to be a number, right? Because it's going to hold a number, right? A dollar figure. So I select number. Over here, number format. I want it to be currency. Now, it doesn't say currency, but you can see here, this is the one you want. It's got the dollar sign and all that stuff. And so that's the one I want. So I choose that. Now what I want to do is name this this amount field. I want to name it. Well, for me, when looking at the form, I see it item 1. Okay? The second one's going to be item 2, item 3, and so forth. Let's give this name, this field, item 1. The most important option on here is calculate on exit. The reason is you're going to put the number in, and then when you exit the field to go on to your next line item, it's any formula that you have on your form, and we're going to create one down here in the total due cell. It's going to force that calculation to refresh. So let's do this. Okay, so this field here is item 1. And calculate on exit. We have it formatted as a number. Number, and then currency. So we're going to click OK. Now, I think what I'm going to do, because I just made for each of these fields, you have to change this, 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 and give it a name. Why don't we just take it and copy it all the way down to these through these line items here. So we'll just click OK to get our first field set up. Now, it's highlighted. We're going to copy it. And let's get rid of this one. Let's get rid of these. And we're going to paste the other field that has the correct settings so that we don't have to change all of those settings for each of those fields. Come up here, paste. Let's make sure we're on the same track. Let's go double click. And good. Number, currency. The bookmark is blank because line item or item 1 is already listed for that first field. So we're going to fix this. Okay, so I just want to make sure the other options were enabled, and they are. So you can click cancel on that. We're going to go ahead and continue pasting all the way down. Okay, getting there. Now we can start naming the fields. Okay, so we're going to go here to the second one. This is item 2, and to make things easier, I'm going to select that, copy it, and then we'll click OK. Now we're going to go to this one, go into the bookmark, paste 3. Okay, go into the next one. This one's going to be 4. Okay, go in the next one, 5. And I'm doing this as we go. I'm not going to speed anything up. This is 6. Okay, go to the next one. This is 7. Okay. 8. 9. 10. Don't ask me why they use bookmarks instead of, name or field name or whatever. I don't understand that, but it is what it is. So bookmark. Item 10. Okay, next one's going to be 11. Yeah, 12. So why are we naming these? Well, the reason we are naming them is so that you can use the name in a formula. It's very much, and this is 13 here, it's very much like Microsoft, where you have quantity, quantity cost, and then total. So in the formula in Excel, you would do the equal sign, equals, and then you would say quantity times, with the asterisk, quantity price. Press enter, and it will, if you name your fields, that's how you could do it. It's one way of doing it. Okay, so we have all the fields for the amount are named and configured properly. The last one here, the total due, is a little bit different. So this one needs to be a calculation. So we come up here, and it is a calculation right here at the bottom. All of a sudden, the options change a little bit. So we're going to go to the bookmark. We're going to give it a name. We'll just call it total due to kind of fit with what's here on the form. Total due. Okay. the expression is the actual formula. So you see, just like in Excel, you have an equal sign. So here, we're going to go equals, right? And we're going to go item 1 plus item 2 plus item 3 plus item 4. Now, instead of me typing all that in, I will just go here and let's grab the space before the plus sign or whatever's there and just grab that. And this way we can just go at the end and we can paste, right? Just backspace, and then put item 5, backspace 6, backspace 7, backspace 8, backspace 9, backspace 10, backspace 11, backspace 12, and backspace 13. So we gave each of those amount boxes here a name, the bookmark. Item 1, item 2, item 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 13. And we can reference those names in the formula. And that's what I've done here. So equals, so whatever item 1 is, plus whatever item 2 is, plus whatever item 3 is, and so forth. So it's a calculation. We've got our calculation in there. We are going to choose the currency as the format. And really, that is, that's it. So click OK. And notice, since it's a calculation, it is $0 because we don't have anything in there. Now we're going to test it here in a few minutes. But the best way to test it is when you enforce the restrict editing as a filling in forms. This way things don't get deleted or whatever. So now we're going to finish the form by going down here to the date, double click on it, and it's not regular text, it is a date field. And the date format, we will choose, what are the options here? I like mm/d, where are you at? Do you even have that in here? MDYY, we could do that, that's fine. Okay, and no need to calculate anything. The only time you're going to calculate this field here is if you put a number in one of these fields. Alright, so that's pretty much it. And, you know, we can just call it date. We'll call this date. Now, that may be a reserved word. Let's see. Good. And then due date, same thing over here. Double click. This is going to be a date. Okay. And date format. Same thing. MDYYOI. Okay. Let's go ahead and click OK for that as well. Now there are other options in there that you could choose, like today's date and so forth, but we're just really concentrating on the amount column and having that calculation automatically calculate when a number is put in or when a number is changed. Now we're going to test it. So let's go over here. Yes, start enforcing protection. And again, this option is under developer, restrict editing. Of course, if I turn it off, it's gone. I click on it again, it's enabled over here. Well, the options are over here. You have to actually start it. So let's do this. Start. No password needed. Okay. So let's just see what happens. We'll go through this. Let's just put 200-5,000. Okay. Charge to, let's just put corporate. Core. Not sure I spelled that right. Okay. Payable to John Jingleheimer. Okay. Attention, John Jingleheimer. Okay. Description, laptop. Okay. Account number, 100. Whoever that may be. Now, watch what happens. 2589.30. Now, watch when I exit that field, it should update below. Let's see if it works. Oh, it does. Yes, sirree, Bob. Okay. Monitor. Account 100. This monitor is $356.48. Look at that. When you exit the field, it automatically calculates at the bottom. Microsoft Office Business. Hope I could put that in there. I don't get flagged for anything. 100, 268.11. Okay. HDMI cables. 100. $68.29. Okay, so as you can see, this is pretty slick. Totals everything for you. It's just great, right? So now you realize, wait a minute. Oh, that laptop, I'm off $100. So you come up here, you click in the field, you change the number to 6. Now watch the number at the bottom change when you tab out of the field. Good. Or if you click in the field and you put in a different number and you click out of the field, okay, that is a weird thing. So you can't click out of the field. I guess you have to exit, tab out of the field. Yeah. All right. But look, it works. You just have to remember, tab out of the field if you change a number. And that is how you create the calculation. Let's see what happens on the date fields. So let's put John Jingleheimer. See what happens if I double click on that. Nothing. So if I put in 02/11/2022 and I tab out of it, it changes it to the format that I selected it to be on the properties of that field. Bill Buxton. Date, again, 2/11/2022. Now, what happens if we put in, this will be interesting, if I put 4/30. Oh, how about 4/31? Ah, that's what we want, right? We want the form to be smart. Okay, so I click OK. I fix that up. And there you go. So hopefully that is helpful to you. Hopefully you can use this little feature. It's pretty slick. Use it for your forms anywhere you want. You know, you could even do like taxes to automatically calculate the taxes on, you know, the totals here if you want to. But all these amounts include taxes, so I don't do it that way. But you could, depending on what the form is, whatever you're creating, whatever use you have, just name the field taxes, and then subtotal, name that field subtotal, and then in your formula, you would take your percentage, whatever it may be, and you would multiply that times your subtotal to get the tax amount. So, good stuff. All right, well, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something. I know I did. So, have a good one. Remember, click and subscribe. All right.